So first off, hey y'all, I know it's been a minute and I'm gonna kind of address that once we dive into this quick little catch-up video, okay? So stick around, get you something to drink. We're gonna chat about it real quick. So if you've been following me for a little bit, you've probably noticed that my content has shifted. It's been a little inconsistent, a little bit of health here, a little bit of fitness there, a little bit of nursing here. And that's honestly because I was trying to run away from the toxic relationship of nursing and do something that actually brought me joy and peace. No shade, all the shade, all the shade. In the midst of all of this running, I really didn't have true direction. I knew things that I enjoyed doing. I knew things that I needed to do to make money, but I still really didn't figure out how to play well in the sandbox with all of these things together. So hear me out. As you may have known, noticed, or realized, life was lifing, okay? I was flying coast to coast, working intense contracts, living in unstable environments. And if you were wondering, this is what I went through. From around September until now, I went straight from one contract to another. I did a 13-week contract in the state of Washington and flew straight to New York with its below zero temperatures and blizzards, working night shifts, 60-hour weeks with no true end in sight, eating whatever I could get my hands on. I pretty much lived on hotel food. And I had to pretty much depend on Ubers and shuttles just to get around whenever I had the time. And after 5 weeks of this, I ended up flying all the way to the West Coast to do it all over again. Thank God that only lasted one day, because at that point I was mentally, emotionally, physically, and morally exhausted. I was terribly burnt out, still am. Things were inconsistent. And honestly, baby, I was just trying to survive. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, the last 6 months have been a lot. And honestly, when you're in that type of survival mode, it's hard to try to live a soft life, film, stay consistent, be functional, to edit, to grow, pour into people when you barely have anything yourself. Creativity completely out the window. Nothing really was able to survive in environments that were draining me in real time. So I had to conserve my energy to get through what I was going through at that moment. But during that time, I was doing a lot of reflecting and just trying to figure out, when I reach the other side, what do I want things to look like? And in the midst of that, plus reviewing my 15-year career as a nurse, I began to connect the dots. Everything that I've been trying to talk about, wellness, discipline, money, balance, it all connects back to nursing for me. Like I said, I was trying to run away from the toxic relationship known as nursing. And I don't know if you have seen my video about the 4 different types of nurses, but like I said, I've literally been all 4 types. I pretty much tried to run away, run to more money, run to better environments, run to better hospital systems, run to better staffing, run to better freedom, experiences, and still ended up burnt out. I tried different roles. I tried to walk away from nursing completely, start businesses, focus on wellness and digital marketing, and still ended up back at nursing. And I was just like, how do I get out of this and still do things that I truly enjoy while still being able to provide for my life that I've built so far? Like, y'all, all the things. And that's when I had to really come to terms that nursing will literally impact everything. Because once you enter this life and this lifestyle, you are exposed to certain things that you may not want to stop exposing yourself to. You might not want to relinquish those experiences and those privileges. So therefore, you would think that you have to keep doing the same things that you did before to keep getting the same result that you always got, which means I was living in my own personal insanity, just being honest. So I had to start to realize that my money, my body, my mental health, my lifestyle, all needed to be brought together. If you remember way back when I first started my channel, I was talking about pillars of wellness. So those things literally still apply. And therefore, I realized my content still needs to focus on those areas, because those are core areas of life that need to be maintained, whether I am working or whether I'm not working, and even more so with the added stress of the type of career that I have. So you'll begin to see that my content is going to kind of focus on 4 main areas as I begin to learn to navigate them myself. For One, financial wellness. Travel nursing, income, high yield savings accounts, saving money, trading, investing. I'm just going to kind of slowly but surely tell you about all the things that I've learned over the years, how they've helped my life, and how I'm going to continue to integrate them to make sure that I have a foundation going forward and that I'm just not nursing in vain. Because as we know, us nurses can make a lot of money, but that does not always translate to financial stability, because I've made a few bags in the last 15 years and I've lost a few bags. So you got to get smarter. Second thing, mental and emotional wellness. I've talked about this on my channel before. The whole sentiment of burnout was the main reason that I kind of created my channel, because I felt as though it was something that needed to really be talked about and addressed, and it is a real thing in the healthcare community. So knowing how to identify burnout and stress, and knowing yourself well enough to understand when you need to take a step back and how to do that or prepare to do that without sabotaging whatever plans or goals or day-to-day needs that you have, is so important to have in your toolbox if you're going to stay in a high stress career or maintain a level of wellness throughout your lifetime. Because burnout isn't just feeling tired, it's actually being disconnected from your life. Physical wellness, the third thing. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know I like to pick things up and I like to put things down. But when you're working 60 hours a week and you're working in the winter and you're working during night shifts and you hardly see sunlight and it's below zero and you barely get more than 4 hours of sleep and you're irritable and your actual job is sucking the life out of you that you do have left, the last thing that is on your mind is to go get on a treadmill and, oh my God, I need to feel better and I lift weights and it has crossed my mind. I grieved moving my body so much. And then that grief over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks turned into shame as I started to feel the weight gain happen. And then I became concerned, like, how do I show back up on this internet here after I done told these people how to lose this weight, how to keep it off, and I done went and low-key burned everything down to the ground in the name of stress, burnout, and a heavy working season. I had to think through that. I had to get myself back in a routine. I had to heal a little bit before I could come back on here and tell you guys what I just went through and how I'm gonna pull myself back out. So wellness, weight loss, routines, mindful eating, gut health, whole foods. As a result of this experience that I just went through, I am now aware of what it takes at the bare minimum to take care of my body even when life isn't calm. And that was something that I did not realize wasn't in my toolbox. Yeah, when life is good and it's 75 degrees outside and the sun is shining, the birds are singing, you're feeling light, you're feeling airy, you're able to get foods and you're able to have good scenery, get vitamin D. When things are great, it's so easy to get up and stay motivated and lock in, and you're seeing your body change and it feels good outside and everybody's outside. But when you're in those trenches, what is really gonna be the thing that is gonna keep you on track, pull you out, and keep you sane? That is something new that I've learned over this time period. And finally, we're going to encompass all of the little tidbits into lifestyle. Now, if you know me personally, I am a vlog girly. I am a lifestyle vlog girly. I have at least 10, maybe 15 people that I have been following for the last, I want to say, 8 to 12, maybe even 15 years. I feel like we've all grown up together. They don't know I exist. Mind your business. I'm just saying, if you're a vlog girly, if you love seeing other people live their lives and watching other people clean their homes and do resets and meal prep and all of that stuff, I love that stuff. It's a lot to film and keep on top of, but I love watching all of my other girlies do it. And so lifestyle is a big thing for me. And it is a big part of what makes my life exciting to me. So lifestyle will be a part of this as well. So travel nursing, flexibility, traveling for leisure, having time off, making sure that you take your time off. This is the part of life that I want to make sure that I'm incorporating intentionally so that I know I have moments to look forward to break away. I want to build a beautiful life, not just work through life. So at some point I had to ask myself, what kind of life do I really want and what does it take to sustain that? Like I mentioned in another video, when I first started nursing, especially when I first started travel nursing, I was just living off of vibes. Like, I'm a millennial. My parents told me if you go and get a degree and get a good job, you just work that job and then one day you'll be 75 or 65 and you can retire and then that's it. Now at the age of 37, I see that no, that's not really like how I want my life to go. I'm not working nowhere for 40, 50, 60 years. I just don't see that for myself. I am terribly burnt out after a smooth 15. So I know that I'm gonna have to do certain things to put certain things in place for me to live the life that I want, and I can't just get up and go to work every day and blow the money on experiences in the here and now. And that's why I am now at the 4th stage of being an intentional nurse who wants to build wealth and invest and use the money that I am making to make sure that my life is solidified going forward. Because at 40, I don't want to be doing none of this, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not. All in all, I wanted to come on here and just kind of update you guys on, you know, the little tidbits that you've seen in the form of my shorts and my reels and my TikToks if you follow me on other platforms, and just kind of sew it all together and say, hi, I am alive and well. I want to bring the content back. I just was not in a place mentally, physically, emotionally, environmentally that I could do that. There was no time, there was no bandwidth. And in all of that, I learned so much about myself, so much about this career, so much about how to make the best of this career for yourself. And I have so much content that I want to bring to you so you can make decisions that are the best for your life and your situation. And we're just going to learn this all together. Because nursing has highs and lows, the good and the bad. There are seasons where you are doing really well. Things are at an all-time high. And there are seasons that can be really low and you're wondering, how are you going to even make it through? And I think what people don't talk about enough is how to navigate both, because honestly, we may just still be figuring it out. So like I said, I am in a different place now where I'm not just working to make money. I'm working with intention, saving instead of spending everything, planning time off, prioritizing peace, vetting my assignments because play with somebody else, thinking more long-term, and learning how to work hard without losing myself in the process. So over the next few videos, I'm gonna break all of this down in detail, and we are going to try our best to maintain some type of schedule and consistency, and I will let you guys know if things end up changing or I end up taking another assignment or I have to leave the state or whatever the case may be. I'll try to keep y'all posted. But stay tuned for an updated travel nursing video, an explanation of strike nursing, the money and what I've learned, burnout and mental health and how it can impact your nursing career as well as your personal life, what it's really like to be a nurse, and how I maintain wellness while working. So if this sounds like something that you may be interested in, please join the family. I would love to have you along. And remember, we're figuring this out together, sis, because clearly I just went MIA for 6 months trying to pull my life back into some semblance of normalcy. But we got to make sure that we're doing it intentionally, okay? So let this be your soft place to land while we figure it out. And until next time, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.